What's good, everybody? Alex back with another album review from earlier in this year, with today's subject being Babymetal and their second studio album, Metal Resistance. Babymetal are probably one of the most polarizing acts today. People either love the three teenage Japanese girls singing over heavy metal tracks, or they think they're a disgrace to the industry. Regardless of your stance on them, there's no questioning their success and popularity, and they've gotten the seal of approval from several legends of rock and metal. Their first self-titled album was a strange enigma. Nobody knew what to expect. Now, however, we're braced for Babymetal. Could their second album shock the world again? The first track is Road to Resistance, which was released in between album releases to tie over fans, and also to further annoy detractors by featuring their first big collaboration. Listening to the opening of this song will give it away to any metal fan that the special guests on this track are Dragon Force, bringing their signature guitar work to go alongside Yui Metal, Moa Metal, and Su Metal's now infamous vocals. The track worked great to generate hype for a new album, and does a great job here to kick off the album. It's followed up by the big single from the album, Karate. Instead of starting off with the screeches of Dragon Force's speed metal, we're met with some truly heavy metal riffs and blast beats, which is just as exciting, if not more so. The letdown, however, is that the vocals don't offer much addition to the song. Obviously, with a language barrier, it's more difficult to follow Babymetal's vocals. However, they always manage to create catchy choruses that'll get stuck in your head even though you have no idea what they're saying, but that was absent from this track, which makes it a surprising choice for a single. Awadama Fever would have made a much more appropriate single in my mind, because even though the opening isn't nearly as heavy, everything in the track from its unique opening to a catchy main riff and chorus, and even a great breakdown, make it easier to get stuck in your head. After that third track, the next one is Yava, which is lighter than anything else thus far, but it's carried by an electronic style track that makes this track a winner. J-Rock often features a good deal of electronica beats and effects, so it's nice to see the band representing their style even though they're playing a pretty western heavy metal style. Moving on through the album, Amore is a heavy power metal style track. It's nice to see that the band made another power metal song for the album rather than leaving Resistance as a one-off, as the girls' vocals on power metal do work well, but it's not the same without Dragon Force, and also, based on the title Amore, one wouldn't be expecting something this heavy. Those themes continue in Metataro, which has the backing band also providing some growling chant-like vocals in time with the beats to make a track with a pacing that'll make you bang your head. After this, however, things get messy. Now, the standard Japanese release and special edition have Syncopation as the next track, whereas the Ode of Japan edition, aka the North American release, has From Dusk Till Dawn. This is really unfortunate, as Syncopation is a fantastic track. It's super heavy, it has a great accompanying electronic track that beefs everything up, and the vocals mesh with it perfectly. This song sounds like an anime opening. Perhaps that's why they didn't think it would get over with an American audience and that they had to cater to us somehow. So they replaced it with From Dusk Till Dawn, which, to be blunt, is a meh track with shitty dubstep effects. The track is almost non-existent for the first half of the song, and then it picks up and it brings in that truly awful generic dubstep shit. It's just really unfortunate. After either a great track or a crappy track, depending on which version you have, is GJ, which is just there. There's nothing noteworthy from this song at all. Up after that is Sis Anger, which has a great track and starts with more blast beats, but the vocals are a bit too high-pitched at times, making a squeaky screech that even I find annoying, and I actively enjoy J-pop and J-rock vocals. After that comes No Rain, No Rainbow, which is a slow song with strong vocals. That's always a very good combo, but I wouldn't really call this track a standout because of it. We also have Tales of the Destinies, which is all over the place, as it wants to be a standard Babymetal track, but then the girls will go MIA for like a minute while the band tries some technical metal, and it doesn't really produce a great result. They also wedge in a few seconds of piano, I don't know why. The album closes out with The One, another big track, and this actually has English vocals on it. To put it bluntly, this was a mistake. Their English isn't terrible, and don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with them speaking English and singing in English, it's just that it hinders their singing. They try to put it on a slower track to mask that issue, but it still sticks out like a sore thumb, and the rest of the band's work on the track doesn't really make up for it. I'm actually very disappointed right now. I was a fan of Babymetal from the first time I'd heard them. I listened to the first album dozens of times, and I loved seeing them in concert a couple of years ago. I was very excited for this album, but I never got around to listening to it upon release until now, and I wish I didn't. This album isn't atrocious or anything, and it's received good reviews, but not from Bubba Inc. it won't. Though the first half of the album was very solid, it wasn't anything spectacular, with the big single being a bit disappointing, and then the second half was all around disappointing. Even though I did talk about the Japan-only track Syncopation, I'm technically reviewing the North American release, so with that in mind, Metal Resistance gets a 5 out of 10. Awadama Fever and Road to Resistance can't make up for the abomination of From Dusk Till Dawn, and everything else ranges from solid to crappy. Maybe the gimmick of Kawaii Metal was only successful for the initial shock and reception of the first album, but I'd like to believe that there is another album like that first one in the future. But this isn't it. If you like this review, be sure to give it a thumbs up below. Be sure to subscribe to Bubba Inc. if you want to see more content like this, as well as much more 2016 album reviews to come through. Peace.